Alright, I'm going to start the plywood deck now. And I have my old deck in place. Fortunately enough, I have something to go on. Not much, but a little bit to make a template. I just want to kind of talk a little bit about what was going on with this deck. Normally, if you're rebuilding one of these, or if you've seen one of these, the plywood deck is underneath the supports. And then it has two of these aluminum support bars on each sheet on the top, like this. And there's one here and one on the very edge here. When I bought this boat, it was the opposite way around. The plywood was on top of the supports, and these aluminum pieces were on the bottom. Now, by looking at this aluminum piece, there's two sets of holes, so I assume this was the second set of plywood, and they had put it the opposite. And I've been thinking about how I was going to do it for a while, and I'm going to put this beam on the bottom like it was before. It was set back about 2.5 inches, and I don't know why it wasn't right on the edge. I assume maybe folding they hit, so I'll put those right back where they were. And what's rattling around in there is the original rivets. Originally it was riveted down, and then whoever put the second sheet of plywood screwed it down, and there's wood plugs in the end. Now what I'm planning on doing, and I'll not mess with that now, but I'm planning on clearing these wood plugs at the end out, cleaning it out, and making a strip of wood to go the whole length, not as high as this, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and it's got a little bit of an angle. One side's a 90 degree and the other side's got an angle to it, so I'll cut it on an angle, slip it all the way in, put my pieces up under there, and then use wood screws to hold it in place. Another interesting thing, originally there's a hole here and it was screwed to the deck supports, and I can't find any corresponding holes on this plywood, so I don't think it was screwed to the deck support, and it's still held up fine, and I don't see any disadvantage. The advantage is the deck will be clear with the exception of 2 rows of screws. And I'll put this in there, and I guess the one problem is the weight. The only thing that'll hold the weight when you step down will be that bolt, whereas when it's like this, it's more supported. I don't think that's going to matter the way the plywood's all stitched together. Then this is going to be stitched down, and I think I'll be better off keeping the decks clear. Maybe I'm missing something and I'll find out later, but that's the plan for now. As far as the deck goes, I don't have enough on that far side to get lay it right on top of another sheet and make a template. The sides look good. I've got this end lined up with the 2 seams, but I've got about various gaps up there, and nothing hits the hull. I don't know if these 2 lines are square, out of square, straight, or whatever, but I'll go by the old one on that. And what I've done and how to do this, I've made a strip that I'm just going to set up in there like that. I'm going to screw it down to this plywood here, just temporary, and I made this little jig, and I'll run along the wall of the boat to give me the angle. Take that piece off, cut it on the bandsaw downstairs, bring it back up, screw it on, and see how it fits. If it fits, I'll screw it down with 4 screws and take this template out, put it on the full sheet of plywood, and cut it out on the full sheet of plywood, and theoretically speaking, it should fit. Now, if you don't have the plywood, the way to do that is to make 4 strips trace them all out, however how they fit tight. Put 4 corners, glue them in there real tight, and then you use that as a template. I'll show you a picture of a fellow that did exactly that for a shark and was kind enough to send me pictures of how he did it. We're kind of at the same progress, and it's been great talking to him and following along with him. But I'll add that picture here so that you can see what the template would look like. Okay, I've got this temporary piece in place of just a 4-inch wide strip of plywood, and I've got it screwed down just so it doesn't move while I make my marks. And I got this little board with a pencil in it. I'm just simply going to run up the edge, trying to keep it flush the best I can, and make a mark all the way down. Well, my point broke, as is wont to happen. Fortunately, my template measurement doesn't change. All I got to do is start over again. Put the pencil back in. Got it drilled a little bit tight so the pencil sticks. And I'll go down and, whoops, wrong side. I'll go down and mark it again. Huh. Well, that's didn't last 2 minutes, 2 seconds. I'll hold it lightly and shoot it all the way down. And that should be the exact contour of the side of the boat. I'll take that down on my bandsaw, cut that line, and bring it back up, and we'll see how it fits. Alright, I got that piece cut. I did make a mark where it was so that I didn't get all messed up. Put that in place. It's pretty tight. So I'll put 4 or 5 screws down there, hold that in place, take my clamps off, and take it over and set it on the plywood and trace it out. Alright, I got my template clamped down. Now it's just a matter of tracing it. There's 2 corners that are cut out for drainage, and we'll trace it here. And I got that side and that side to the factory edge, so we should come out all right. I'll take my circular saw and cut that, and I may try to cut that with the circular saw. It's got a little bit of an arch in it. It may not go well. I got a jigsaw just in case. We'll cut that and put it in and see how it looks. $50 a sheet. I don't want to make no mistakes. 60, probably more like 60 by the time I was done with the shipping it to Menards. So, I think I got it right. I have to check and make sure I got the good side up. With that, we'll run the saw. Alright, let's see how she fits. Fits good. I'm a little long on this corner here, so I'm going to have to decide what to do about that, but other than that, it looks pretty good. We'll start working on the next one. Alright, we got those setting in. I'm just going to leave them set there, no bolts or no screws or anything. I'm going to paint them first. It was kind of strange. I worked off of a square corner on the first one, and the second one didn't have a square corner. But I just worked off the template, and that's what came up, so. Well, I got one board painted. Prime coat, epoxy primer. And that is the end of my 2 quarts of primer. So I guess that'll be the end of the video. Thanks for watching.